Most men fail as husbands, and the scary part is they don't notice the failure happening in real time. They think everything is fine. They think things are fine because the bills are paid, the house is quiet, and nobody is shouting at dinner. Meanwhile, the respect is leaking out of the relationship like air from a tire. Doesn't explode, just kind of goes soft. Attraction gets replaced by obligation, warmth gets replaced by logistics. One day you wake up and realize the woman next to you is sharing a home, but not a heart. If that hits a nerve, good. This video is a wake-up call. I'm going to walk you through the 10 reasons most men fail as husbands that nobody talks about. Now, if you correct even 3 of these, you can change the entire trajectory of your marriage. If you correct all 10, you can make your wife feel like she won the lottery without you having to buy a single thing. If you're new here, my name is Dr. John DeBach. I've been a couples counselor and relationship coach for nearly a decade and a half now. I've helped thousands of men build the relationships that they actually want. I've written books, I've appeared on national TV, and I've grown a social media audience from 0 to over 1 million in the last year by giving men straight talk that works. I'm not selling you anything in this video. This is free because too many good men are losing their families over mistakes they can absolutely fix with the right direction and discipline. So here we go. Reason number 1 is becoming a yes man. Men confuse compliance with love. They think if they just agree, if they keep the peace, if they say sure and okay to everything, then everyone will be happy. That's wrong. Constant agreement kills respect because it signals to your wife that your values are negotiable and your opinions are shallow. She doesn't want a clerk who stamps approved on every request. She wants a partner who has a spine. I had a client once who told me he'd learned to head off conflict by saying yes to everything. He would change plans. He would cancel hobbies. He would reorganize his schedule and then just call it sacrifice. You know what happened over time to that guy? His wife lost any sense of polarity with him. She started to feel like the only adult in the house. Attraction doesn't live in a dynamic where one person always folds. The cure is not to become combative. The cure is to become honest. If you disagree, say so with calm authority. If you need time to think, say you'll come back with a decision. If something violates your values, say it clearly and own the discomfort. Boundaries aren't rude, they're clarity. And clarity is attractive because it shows you're a man who can be trusted to lead himself first. Now, before I move on, do me a favor. If this is hitting home, like the video and subscribe. It's completely free and it really helps the channel. It tells the platform that the content for husbands who want to win at home actually matters. It also keeps you from missing the next video that could save your relationship. Number 2 on the list is sharing zero inner world. Too many men live as public performers and private ghosts. They show up to work and perform. They show up to home and provide. Inside, they keep their doubts, fears, and dreams and longings locked in a vault. They think they're protecting their wife from stress. They think stoicism means silence. What it actually does is starve the relationship of the intimacy that matters most. Women bond through shared inner life. When you don't talk about the thing that scares you, the thing that excites you, the way you're wrestling with meaning, you turn the relationship into a business partnership. Bills get paid, schedules get coordinated, souls don't touch. The fix is simple, but it's not easy. Begin narrating your inner world. You don't need polished speeches. You try sentences like, I'm feeling pressure about work and I don't have it all figured out yet. Or, I've been thinking about how to make the next 10 years meaningful and it scares me and excites me. Invite her into the process. Ask what that brings up for her. The point is not to dump stress. The point is to build a shared inner map so she feels chosen, trusted, and essential. Number 3 is weaponizing logic. Many men are masters of facts and terrible at feelings. When a wife shares pain, they respond like an attorney. They correct details, they present evidence, and they try to solve the case. They treat the conversation like a courtroom. The problem is marriage is a place for truth and comfort, not verdicts. I had a client once who kept immaculate spreadsheets. When his wife said she felt overwhelmed and alone, he would pull up the time logs and show how many hours he spent with the kids. Now, he won the dispute on paper, but he lost the connection. What she needed wasn't proof, she needed presence. This doesn't mean facts are irrelevant. It means sequence matters. First, reflect the emotion. Try this. I hear that you feel alone even when I'm in the room, and that scares you. Stay there until she softens. Only then talk details. Logic without empathy feels like a weapon. Empathy with logic feels like leadership. If you want respect, learn to mirror feelings before you manage facts. And that brings us to number 4, playing the child at home. Nothing kills attraction faster than forcing your wife to become your mom. If she has to remind you to schedule appointments, keep commitments, handle chores, or manage your health, you're not her partner, you're a project. A project isn't sexy, a project is exhausting. Many men drift into this without meaning to. Their wife is competent and organized, so she picks up the slack. He lets her. Over time, she becomes the household foreman. And he becomes the extra teenager who needs task lists and nudges. Desire evaporates because desire lives in polarity. She wants to feel your gravity. She wants to relax because you have things handled. Adult up. Put recurring tasks on your calendar. Handle them without being asked. Volunteer solutions before she knows there's a problem. If you say you'll do something, do it on time and without a victory lap. Lead yourself. When you become a man who can run his own life, your wife can stop managing you and start wanting you again. Number 5 is not fighting enough. Now, I know that sounds strange, but it's true. Couples who never fight are not necessarily healthy. They're often emotionally malnourished. No conflict usually means no honesty. If you swallow everything to keep the waters calm, you create stagnation. A stagnant pond, stagnant water looks still. It's also where things rot. Healthy marriages have friction because truth meets truth. I'm not talking about screaming or insults. That's not what this is about. I'm talking about clean conflict. You say what is real without venom. You listen without plotting your reply. You wrestle an issue to the ground and then you repair. Many men avoid this because they fear losing love. Ironically, they lose love by avoiding the very confrontations that would create closeness. The fix is to learn repair skills. After a hard talk, say, I don't want this to sit badly between us. Here's what I heard. Here's what I own. And here's what I want to do next. The relationship gets stronger every time you complete that cycle. Avoidance isn't peace. Repair is peace. Number 6 is treating marriage like a job promotion. Men chase hard when they're dating. They listen, they flirt, they plan surprises, and they show their most intentional self. Then they get married and retire from pursuit. They act like the ring was the finish line. It's the starting line. Your wife didn't marry the version of you who coasts. She married the man who pursued her with creativity and energy. If that man vanishes, she feels bait and switch. Romance doesn't mean constant drama. It means intentional pursuit. Bring back first date energy. Plan something without being asked. Dress like you care. Put your phone away and win the room again. Share the way she still moves you. Tell her the 3 things about her that you admired today, that you would have noticed while dating. Pursuit is not an early relationship trick. It's a lifelong discipline. If you keep choosing her with visible effort, she feels chosen. And chosen women open their hearts and their bodies. Neglected women close shop and protect themselves. Number 7 is over-investing in provider identity. Now, being a provider matters. I want to make that clear. It's just not enough. Too many men hide behind the grind. They say, I work this hard for my family. And then they come home too depleted to connect. Now, money becomes the alibi for emotional absence. I had a client once who built a beautiful life on paper, the house, the trips, the cars. He thought he was hitting grand slams. His wife felt like a widow with a husband in the room. She didn't want more stuff. She wanted his playful energy on a Tuesday night. She wanted his curiosity when she told a story. She wanted him to sit on the floor and build with the kids just because. Providing is not only financial. Provide a safe emotional climate. Provide emotional presence. Provide spiritual direction if that's your lane. Provide the discipline to protect family time from your phone. Provide a marriage that your children admire, not just a lifestyle they enjoy. If you think the paycheck is the whole job, you're outsourcing the parts of husbanding that only you can do. Number 8 is forgetting to be unpredictable. Early on, you surprised her. You changed plans to grab ice cream at midnight. You left a note in her book. You kissed her in the produce aisle just to see her laugh. Over time, the relationship calcifies into routine. Routine is safe. Routine is also boring, though. Attraction needs a little voltage, not chaos. Surprise. If she can predict every move you make, she can relax around you, but she can't be excited around you. Shake the snow globe, switch update formats, pack a small bag, and take her somewhere nearby for a night with zero logistics on her plate. Wake up early, make her favorite breakfast for no reason. Invite her into a hobby she's never seen you do. Learn one new skill that benefits the family and present it like a gift. Unpredictability is not immaturity, it's the art of injecting play into a life that is otherwise efficient. Couples who play stay connected because laughter stitches up the small tears that daily life creates. Number 9 is treating marriage like a to-do list. Many men attempt to fix disconnection with tasks. They schedule date night, they buy flowers, they remember the anniversary. And these are good, right? But they're not sufficient. You can do the task and still be absent. Presence is the point. Your wife can tell when your mind is somewhere else. She can feel when you're performing a duty rather than offering your focus. The cure is to trade performance for presence. When you're with her, be with her. Put the phone away. Ask one question that requires more than a yes or no. Listen without jumping to advice. Share something from your inner world that's new. Look for micro moments. 10 intentional minutes on the couch can mean more than 2 hours of distracted dinner. If you need structure, keep the calendar items, but treat them as containers for presence rather than boxes to check. When she feels you, she relaxes. When she feels your checklist, she hardens. And finally, number 10 is failing to inspire. This one is misunderstood. Inspiring your family doesn't mean grand speeches or massive success. It means you carry a sense of direction that pulls everyone forward. You wake up with a reason to push, to grow, to build, and you let your family feel that current. Many men drift into maintenance mode. They do what is required and nothing more. The home becomes a place where days repeat without story. Women crave momentum. They want to feel part of a future that is being shaped by a man who's awake. Inspiration can look simple. You set a family goal for fitness and lead the walks. You start a weekly ritual that anchors everyone. You frame the next year with a shared project and get everyone involved. You care about your craft and bring that energy home so your kids learn what purpose looks like. The point is not to be a celebrity. The point is to be a lighthouse. When you're lit up, your wife feels safe, seen, and excited about where you're going. That combination is magnetic. Let me round out a few practical drills for each point so you can act today. For the yes man pattern, pick one small thing this week that you typically surrender on and practice a respectful no with a counteroffer. Now, chances are you're going to feel the anxiety spike and then settle. That's the muscle growing. For sharing your inner world, schedule a 30-minute walk and narrate one fear, one dream, and one decision you're wrestling with. Then ask for her take and listen without defending. Now, for weaponized logic, practice this sentence. It makes sense that you feel that. And then leave it there for a beat. When she softens, then add facts. For the child at home dynamic, choose 3 recurring tasks and set automated reminders. Deliver them without commentary. For conflict avoidance, pick one lingering resentment and name it kindly by Friday, then repair. For the job promotion mistake, plan one pursuit move this week that takes thought, not money. For the provider identity, set a hard stop on work twice this week and be off your phone for 2 hours with your family. For unpredictability, set a timer for 10 minutes and plan a simple surprise for the next 7 days. For the to-do list trap, replace one chore-based date with a presence-based cuddle and talk hour. For failing to inspire, write a 1-paragraph family vision for the next 6 months and read it at dinner. Then ask for input and commit to one small step by the weekend. I want to add 2 quick stories to make this land. I had a client once who believed romance meant elaborate spending. He would book trips and buy jewelry when things felt cold. His wife appreciated the effort but didn't open up. And when we switched the playbook to daily presence, inner world sharing, and one small surprise a week, intimacy came back without a single purchase. He told me later that the most powerful move for him was a 10-minute talk every night where they asked each other, what was the one thing that made you feel alive today? That became their ritual. I had another client who swore he and his wife never fought. He wore that like a badge of honor. But underneath it, he had a long list of things he never said. When he learned to bring one truth per week with kindness, their sex life improved because she finally trusted his words. She told him, "I feel you now." Peace without truth was fake. Truth with repair created real peace. Now, if you're still with me, here's the bigger picture. None of these reasons require a personality transplant. They require awareness, courage, and repetition. You don't need to become a different man. You need to become a truer man, a man who can say no without fear, a man who can say, "Here is what's going on inside me," a man who can say, "I hear you," before he says, "Here's my point." A man who can handle his life so his wife doesn't have to handle him. A man who can tell the truth when it's awkward, pursue the woman he married, provide more than money, inject play into routine, show up with presence instead of performance, and carry a small but steady vision that sets the tone for the home. That's not fantasy, that's practice. Start small and start today. If you want to go deeper with me, I have a small and private group coaching program for men where we work on these skills in real time and hold you accountable to becoming the husband your family can follow with pride. If you're interested, the information is in the description below. Thanks so much.